This is definitely not gonna come out when I said it would.
Man, I'm broke, but in jail. Man, I'm broke, but to give me a meal. I'm out of pocket like the sucker McFoley. Blessed when I rap, they wanna shout holding.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Movie Nights with Keht. I am Kehtelho Ngcobo, or Keht, and welcome to my channel. If you have been here before and you've watched my other one video, welcome back. I hope my experience now is better than last time. And if you're new here, thank you so much for joining and giving me a minute of your time or a couple minutes of your time. I hope you don't regret it. I had to put my wig on. So today we are going to be talking about the 2017 film directed by Jayan Moodley called Keeping Up with the Kandasamys. It's a comedy. Like I mentioned in my previous video, I will be doing my makeup, but it's not really going to be the main focus of the video. Let's get into it. So the movie begins and we immediately establish Durban. We are then taken to the neighborhood of Chatsworth. The first household that we enter is the Naidu household. And in the Naidu household, we have the mom, which is Shanti, her husband Pregi, and her two sons, Deshan and Prashen. Shanti and Pregi are kind of like in their bedroom, and Shanti seems to be looking for her outfit that she's going to wear at a wedding that the family is going to. It's not only Shanti who's getting ready, actually the whole house is getting ready. They finished getting ready and then they go outside and they wait for Pregi to reverse the car out of the driveway. We have the mother Jennifer, her husband Elvis, their daughter Jody, and she's like a cobra through the grass when she moves through that room. She a bad chick, a bad chick, a bad chick, and she knows it. She a bad chick, a bad chick, a bad chick, and she knows it. My favorite character of this entire movie, and her name is Aya. The two moms in the different households, Jennifer and Shanti, actually are feuding. The first time we are actually introduced to this is when both families are exiting to leave, and Jennifer and Shanti, they're wearing the same sari. They very much do not like each other at all. And it seems like they're the only two that have issues, because everyone else in like the opposite cars, they give each other like nods of acknowledgement. The two families, they finally get to the event that they were going to. Like I said, there's obviously seating arrangements at wedding. Aya, the grandmother, her and her family, the Kandasamys, they have settled already at a table, and she sees the Naidus. She's very welcoming towards them, you know. She asks about their well-being and if they can join her at the table. And Jennifer is very quick to say, you know, there's seating arrangements and whatnot, and Aya's like, girl, I'm old, I'm not stupid. Literally shows her the placement cards, like the seating cards, and their surname is there, so they're going to share a table. It was only, however, Prashen and Pregi who are at the table. They kind of ask where Shanti went, and then we see like, it looked like a scene straight out of Toddlers and Tiaras. Finally, Shanti, she joins the family at the table. I think now the wedding proceedings are going to take place. And this ma'am, she only greets Aya. Jennifer stands up, gives her husband her purse, and then moves the plates around on the table and says to Jennifer, I'm sure you didn't eat. My thing is also like, it just wasn't a you look like you didn't eat or whatever. Shanti, she comments on like how cute the bride and the groom are, and Aya, she's like, you talking about the bride and groom, do you see you and Jennifer? Y'all look like the two twinsies.
Don't be ridiculous, Ma. Our bodies wear the saris in completely different styles. Yeah, one is curves and the other one is cold and long with no shape.
The body shaming escalates. This time it comes from both parties, and it's not right coming from any party. They start throwing jabs at each other. Even the first time I watched it in 2017, I was not okay. A group of men, including Pregi and Elvis, they're outside like having a drink. They further cement that
the issues between their households are between their wives, and that they're not gonna get their ndabas. Jennifer, at this point, she's outside having a smoke break. Then she sees Prashen and Jody making out on top of the stairs. The following day, Jody and Jennifer, they're sitting in the lounge. Jody is very much having chats with Prashen. Like, she can't be smiling like that and not be talking to her man. Otherwise, who's she talking to? Jennifer, though, asks her, you know, who are you talking to? And, you know, she says, a friend. Jennifer's like, is it a dude?
Yeah, boy.
I don't know if she was trying to hide it, or I don't know what the point of her saying it like that was. Jody says to her mom, you know, if she had a man, then the mom would be the first person to know. And girl, why you lie to your mama like that? Jennifer's in the kitchen. She's making a smoothie for herself. She's making coffee for her husband, who didn't ask for it, by the way. He asked for tea. But she's so preoccupied thinking about the whole Prashen thing. Jennifer is very, like, I think the word is classist. She's standing at the window and she's looking at Prashen's car. They obviously drive a BMW, so they are very comfortable or rich. Because she knows that her daughter is going for this guy, she's like, nah, look at that car. It's so cheap. Jennifer. Elvis brings up that, don't you remember also driving in your dad's old car and stuff, you know? At least Prashen is giving Jody a ride. And Jennifer's like, oh, he is giving her a ride, all right. We finally get to see Prashen and Jody outside of the presence of the family. I think they're just meeting after school for lunch. They have this culture where they always swap lunches. Prashen and Jody, they briefly touch on that wedding that they went to, and you know, Prashen just is kind of being a little bit cute, you know, saying, when I saw you, I wanted to kiss you immediately. I actually used to say that in primary school. The only difference is that they actually really did kiss. Shanti is at her workplace. She works in a salon. Jennifer, she was on her way to the salon. When she gets there, Shanti sees Shanti turning around at the door of the salon, and she kind of chases after, not really chases after her, but she goes out to see why the hell is she here.
You just tell your miserable, useless son to stay away from my daughter.
Excuse me, Missy, my son has got taste.
Don't talk shit, man. I saw Prashen kissing Jody at the wedding.
Kissing?
Groping her, sticking his tongue down her throat. I mean, who the hell does your son think he is? If your son wants to mess with my daughter, he's gonna have me.
Don't come here with your lies.
Jennifer makes a point, you know, it makes sense to her character. She's like, do you really think I would come all the way here to lie to you? Later that evening, Prashen is back at home and his mom is also in the kitchen cooking. She is thinking about what Jennifer is saying because she's being very aggro with the food. Prashen was on his way to the gym and his mom was like, you know, I'm cooking all your favorites and someday I'm going to have to teach your wife to cook all your favorites, you know? And Prashen's like, oh, we have plenty of time for that. Don't you worry, child. Heaven's got a plan for you. Prashen leaves and he forgets his phone, I think. Shanti feels like that is her opportunity to investigate and snoop around her son's phone. She doesn't know how to use it.
Where's the buttons on this phone?
Sorry, I do not understand. Where are the buttons on this phone?
Hello?
Hello, sexy Prashen.
Who are you?
I am Simi. How may I help you?
Oh, okay. Please can I see all the messages that this Jody girl from next door is sending my son?
Thank you. I can definitely assist. Are you looking for A message, B, a phone log, or C, both
Why
options?
are you asking so much
A
questions?
and B?
He fat lot of help you are.
I do not understand. Fat lot of help you are. I am Simi. How may I help you?
You know what? Selvi, or whatever your name is, why don't you shut your mouth and stay away from our son, you wild thing.
So now we in the Kandasamys household. Aya, who was on the phone, she's talking about how her blood sugar levels are low and she needs just like one sweet. She drops the phone and reaches into Jodie's bag. And she takes out condoms and she unwraps one. She starts to chew on it. She throws some at Jennifer and tells her that here's a sweet, and maybe if she eats one, you know, it'll add some sweetness into her life. They don't really get along that well. Jennifer kind of has like a mini panic attack. She asks Aya like, where did you get this? And Aya is like, from Jodie's bag. She's still kind of oblivious to what exactly it is. I don't know why they did this to her. She could have just discovered the condoms. I don't know. In the Naidu household, Shanti is also doing some research of her own. She goes to Prashen's room and she's snooping around. She finds a letter that says to Mr. Shy Guy, and it's like an envelope, I think, or it's like folded. And inside the fold or inside the envelope, there's a thong. While she's snooping in her son's room, her husband shows up and she does not want to look suspicious. So she uses the thong as a scrunchie. Jennifer and Shanti, they meet up at a park to kind of discuss their findings during their investigation. Shanti is so sure that Jennifer's daughter is the one who is nasty because she's buying her son this underwear and she's the one with the condoms in her bag. They trying to pin this on the other person's child. They even talk about the possibility of Jodie falling pregnant. Jennifer kind of draws her back like, bruh, first of all, if my daughter falls pregnant, your son's gonna have to drop out of medical school to change diapers. And also, the top of it all, we're gonna share a grandchild. And that was enough reason for them to plot the breakup of their children. So Jodie and Prashen, they meet up at the beach and they kind of talking about how, like, when are they gonna officially tell people about, like, the fact that they're an item. And Jodie, she wants to tell her mom, I think, and Prashen is like, bruh, like, I get you, but like, of all people you want to tell your mom. Jodie asks Prashen when he's gonna be going to Cape Town, and Prashen is like, I'm not going. I think he was supposed to go there for like school, but he says he's not going there because of her. And if you ever, don't you ever do that. Don't plan your life around somebody. You know, for me, Jodie's not fighting enough. So they start to make out. Then this weird swimmer guy comes. Listen, there's no formal introduction to this guy. He's just, I don't think I've seen him anywhere else in the movie. And he's like, oh my God. Like, he's kind of freaking out that they together because he knows their families. So they ask him like, don't tell anybody. And he's like, I can't keep something this big inside me. Who is this guy? Elvis and Jennifer, they're outside. I don't know what Elvis is doing to the car, but Jennifer is wanting her husband to talk to Jodie about the birds and the bees, which I think is a sex talk for children. We need to support her, you know, she's getting off that age. And Elvis is like, you know, I think Jodie's an old girl. She can make her own decisions. She can make smart decisions. Jennifer touches on like an ex of Jodie's and that he was a pretty nice guy, and you know, she's trying to vouch for him so that the husband can also vouch for him so that Jodie does not end up with Prashen. He lets the child be. He lets the child make her own decisions because she's old. Elvis gets a call from Preggy and they have a code name for each other, Dylan. Remember, they can't really talk because they inherited beef. They call each other Dylan. Because at that moment, Elvis was with his wife, he's kind of speaking in code. He can't really say the full thing, you know. Can't be that direct. Preggy on the other side, he was first talking normally, but Shanti enters the room and he also starts to speak in code, you know. They have like a secret friendship. The two ladies, they prepare for their meetup. When they get together, they're discussing if the other party has come up with any plans to break up their children. Shanti says, number one, we can take your daughter to India, or y'all can move because you don't really like this place. Jennifer is like, well, my husband's mom, she really loves this place, so we're not gonna go anywhere. Jennifer also comes up with a plan that maybe they need to look into their children's likes and dislikes. The first one that she can kind of mention for her daughter, or a dislike of her daughters, of Jodie, is her ex, Jodie's ex. The two moms, they organized like a dinner thing to sort of arrange like a date for their kids. And the Kandasamys house, they having devotion, or like they singing. So they having like some sort of ceremony, a prayer. I don't really know. I'm not really sure. And in the Naidu house, Shanti has invited over a girl, like a young girl who's Prishen's age. You know, she compliments the food, and Shanti, she talks about how, you know, like, how you gonna be a wife and not know how to cook. I'm gonna need old people to stop having opinions. Prishen is actually a really nice guy. He tries to make conversation with the girl, the one who's his age. He asks her what she's studying, and they don't give her a chance to answer. They kind of speaking for her. I think it's one of her family members jumps in, like, she's also studying medicine, like you, because Prishen's studying medicine. Shanti even touches on the fact that he is so smart. He got a place at the University of Cape Town, but he's not gonna leave his mother. In the Kandasamys house, Jennifer tries to get her daughter to speak to her ex, and the daughter asks like, why is he here? And Jennifer's like, oh no, you know, he had to practice. I think he's like a musician, and they do like dance sessions or singing sessions, and his mom is sick and they needed a place to practice, so she offered her house. So now Jodie must go entertain her ex. The mothers call each other, right? Obviously, they are planning to break their children up, and they have invited like different people for their kids. At this point, Jodie's outside with her ex, and now the plan is to get Prishen to leave the house and go outside so that he can see Jodie talking to her ex. Shanti finally thinks of something. She decides she's going to take out the trash, but she pretends that it's making her back pain, or it's giving her back pains, so her son needs to take the thing out. Outside, Jodie is still with her ex, and right now they're talking about her, the ex's mom. Jodie, being the nice person that she is, she hugs him. And what perfect timing, because Prishen sees them outside.
I see your daughter didn't waste any time falling into the arms of her ex.
Can't blame her. And she's quite a hunk.
I'll give him maybe 5, 6 out of 10.
Really? Want to know what I'd give Prishen? 1.
Shanti and Jennifer, they prepare food or like a snack for their respective kids, and when they get to school, like they having the lunch, you know, they swap their usual. And the girl who was at Prishen's house is actually, they go to the same school. She comes up like, I really had a nice time yesterday at your house. Your mom's a great cook. I need some cooking lessons from her. Then she acknowledges Jodie and says, oh, you must be the girlfriend. Jodie's like,
We best friends. Oh, okay. Let's do lunch sometime. You bring the main course and I'll organize dessert. Bye.
Bye.
Jodie is unimpressed. Shanti's really getting comfortable with this girl, or she's acting like she is, because she really does not want her son to be with Jodie. Her and the girl from the university, they're at Shanti's house and they're making some dishes. I think they're teaching each other how to make a certain dish. And Prashen, he enters. They, you know, kind of say they need a taster for their food. That gives that girl an opportunity to feed Prashen. Shanti wants to capture a picture of it, but she does not know how to use it. This girl just takes the phone and says, it's fine, I'll just take a selfie. Feeding Prashen. Jennifer and Shanti, they get on the phone with each other just to give each other an update on how Operation Sabotage is going. Shanti points out that actually her son is even enjoying the foods that girl is making for him and stuff like that. They arrange another meeting. They meet at a food market. Shanti, she tastes one of the chilies at one of the stalls and it burns her. Aya spots her, but only her. Her and Jennifer, they panic. So Jennifer goes to a place to hide. Aya goes over to Shanti and Aya bought a lot of things and she looks like she's there to do a lot more shopping. And Shanti's trying to ditch her. So she's like, you know, Aya, you look like you're busy and you have to get through more shopping. So I'll just wait for my friend. She might take long. Jennifer comes out. She's dressed in a burqa and she can't really talk because Aya will recognize her voice. Shanti introduces her and says she's a friend from school, gives her another name. Aya says, oh, if you went to school with Shanti, then you might know my daughter-in-law.
She would have been the perfect daughter-in-law for me.
Oh, Aya, Jennifer's not that bad. She may be cooked in the head, but when has she ever let you down?
Aya then mentions that it's actually okay that Jennifer does not want to come with her to the market or take her because Elvis is gonna buy Jody a car. Jennifer calls her husband in rage. Well, it's not actually even rage that he's buying her a car. It's more so like, why didn't you keep me in the loop? They start to go on a bit of a back and forth over the phone. I think Jennifer is suggesting Jody gets a BMW and Elvis is like, he's actually the one who's in charge of that area, so he's gonna see what he does. They eventually surprise her with a new car. As Jennifer had asked, it is a orange, it's a BMW. It's an orange BMW. Jody, she's very excited and very happy for the car. We see, I don't know if it's the same guy, the one who saw Jody and Prashen at the beach, but he's also excited that she's got a car and stuff like that. Her number plate, however, says Jojo, and if you remember the ex, that's a nickname that the ex gave her, and the mom insisted on having this as her number plate. Jody, she goes to show her man her new car. First he's shocked that she got a BMW, but once he learned that her mom had a say, then he said it made sense. Elvis is very touched about the fact that Jennifer was able to get into her head and choose the model of the car that Jody got. While that is taking place, Jody is in her room and I think she's on what looks like Facebook, and there's a new post on her timeline. It's Prashen with that girl. It's the pictures that she took when she was feeding him when she was over at his house. The car was all a part of Jennifer's ploy because the following day, the kids, they want to go to school. Prashen asks Jody, like, are they not gonna take his car because they've been traveling to school with his car? And Jody's like, she needs to drop something off for her ex's mother. Prashen, he's obviously taken aback by this and he questions like, your ex's mom? But we can meet for lunch. And now Prashen is like, no, we can't meet for lunch because he has to help that girl with her studies. And it wasn't him that had suggested that, it was his mom. Here you see that the mother's plans of separating their children is full on speed at work. The moms, they arrange another meet up and they meet at a golf club. I think it's the golf club that their husbands go to. They kind of want to hatch a plan to speed up this process of breaking their children up. And so Jennifer says she has another plan. A waitress overhears the conversation that they need an actress, and she offers her services because she is a drama student and says that she can meet up with them.
Prashen, don't leave me and go.
Back at the Naidu house, that ex of Jody's, he is over again. And he's practicing his music again. The family is watching him. Jennifer asks Jody why don't her and the ex do a duet. While they are singing, Jennifer, she makes a phone call, I think with Jody's phone. And obviously whoever's on the other side is gonna hear Jody singing with this man. And Prashen hears them singing together. This upsets him. Prashen, he comes downstairs after hearing that phone call. He goes to his mom and finds that his mom had that teddy bear that he gave Jody at the beach. She asked the mom, like, where did you get that? And she's like, she found it on the street. And he's like, okay, I'm going to the gym. And he's sad. And for the first time, the mom is not happy that the son is unhappy. Jody walks downstairs. When she's outside, that actress that the mother's hired, she shows up.
Excuse me, does Prashen live here?
No, he lives next door.
Couldn't remember if he said 38 or 40.
It's 40.
Look, could you give this to him for me? I'm kind of in a hurry.
Hey Jody, why are you so late? What happened to you?
Where were you last night?
Like you really care.
I'm not in the mood to play games, Prashen.
Games? What kind of sick game are you playing?
What the hell are you talking about?
Ashil, this song is forever.
Oh, come on.
How'd you get this?
You know where I got that.
Are you really making this about me, huh? Where's the teddy bear I gave you?
And what about your Devani? You and her were probably examining each other while she fed you cupcakes.
Yeah, so what if you were?
Well, at least Ashil didn't pretend to love me.
Then go back to him.
I will!
Prashen is very devastated about how things ended up with Jody. I think at that point, it's a breakup. I think they broke up. And obviously he's going to be sad about it. Shanti notices this and she's not happy about upsetting her child. And so her moral compass comes to play. She wants to come clean. But Jennifer feels like their plan is working. She will not allow Shanti to ruin that.
Outside only. Yeah, backyard. One way.
What's your problem?
Saris, I'll call you back.
Are you talking to me?
I spoke to Ashil today on campus. She told him I wanted to get back together with him and that I was pining for him.
Jen, is this true?
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Did you hear how she speaks to me? Did you hear that? I did this for your own good.
For me. What a load of shit.
Hey.
Back in the Naidu house, Shanti and Prashen, they're sitting at their dinner table, and Shanti is physically, like, you can see that she's sad. Pragi joins them, and Prashen, he says that Cape Town opportunity that he had, I think got a scholarship to go study there, he's going to take it. And after, like, not really an argument to change his mind, but like words to sway him from leaving, he says, you know what, I just really need to go, and that's my final decision. Pragi's like, what made him decide this? Because we thought he was gonna stay. And that's when Shanti comes clean about what they had done. The two husbands, they meet up at, I think it's where they play golf. They meet up and they talk about what their wives had done now. And they're like, we're not gonna allow them to get away with this. We're gonna have like a whole family meeting where they come clean. So they arrange exactly that. At the family meeting, Shanti and Jennifer, they act like children. First, telling the other to start like the confession. They don't take accountability for anything that they did. The reason why there's beef between the two families is because of you guys. Prashen and Jody, they decide to leave, and Shanti, she doesn't want to let Prashen go while he's still very pissed off at her. So they chase after them. The couples, they also, as they chasing after the kids, they kind of having an altercation because the husbands are very much on the kids' side. They believe the kids are they believe that the kids are old enough to make their own decisions. But the moms, they feel like they did the kids a favor. Prashen and Jody, they ask for space and then they leave. Jennifer and Shanti, they get into it. Jennifer is blaming Shanti for coming to her with this idea to break up their kids in the first place. And then they go on to now reveal where the source of their beef is coming from. They were best friends in high school, and Jennifer had a crush on this guy. But this guy had a crush on Shanti and asked Shanti out. And Jennifer's like, you could have said no. And you had to go ahead and have a child with him and get married to him just to rub it in my face. So now we know that the guy that they're talking about is Preggy. And this is something that happened in high school. Elvis is on the side very awkwardly like, are you guys, is Preggy the guy you're talking about? Y'all fight over him? Preggy gets very agitated by Jennifer. Starts to also shout at her and attack her. Now it's battle of the couples. The husbands, they start to rock. I think Elvis throws a punch at Preggy, and all this fighting gets overwhelming for Aya, and she collapses on the side of the road.
With the body, get in my head.
Let's forget all of this. Let's just start over.
Our mothers will make our lives a nightmare. So what's the point?
Please, I love you, Jody.
Jennifer and Elvis, they are at the hospital that Aya was admitted to. They, outside of Aya being in a hospital, they very evidently have issues. Jennifer even offers Elvis a cup of coffee and he doesn't take it. In the Naidu house, however, Shanti, she's sitting at their dinner table and Preggy comes to join her and they able to like embrace, be there for each other, support each other. Elvis feels like Jennifer likes to fight. Jennifer is trying to explain that, you know, the fight that they had, you know, when the couples were fighting, it wasn't even really about Preggy. Shanti was her day one and she felt betrayed by him going to like her high school crush. Elvis, he just kind of expresses that he wants peace in the house. Elvis later goes to the golf place and remember him, that's him and Preggy's thing. But when he's there, at first he's alone. Preggy then ends up arriving, you know, and they hash things out. They apologize for the others, like for their behavior. They're very mature. Jody is sitting in the lounge. She's listening to music. When Jennifer goes to join her, she starts to tell her the story of her and her dad. She was excited to meet her husband's family, but they really weren't that happy with her and he had to fight for her. And it went on for a long time and it was the hardest years for her, for their relationship. And it's kind of like a build-up to say that she didn't realize that she was doing the same thing to Jody, you know. Jennifer goes to Shanti's house and at the door, they don't even exchange words. They just exchange glances and they hug. The following day, they are preparing for a celebration. Jennifer and Shanti, like in the beginning of the movie, they end up wearing the same sari, but their behavior towards it, it's not competition of who wore it best. There's no body shaming. They are setting up for Aya's birthday. She's turning 80. The birthday girl, Aya, she's still in hospital. So the two families, well, the two husband and wives, the two couples, they rushed to go fetch her at the hospital. So they go get Aya. They go back to the party venue. Jennifer and Shanti, they have they say some speeches, and their speeches are obviously dedicated to Aya because it's her birthday. But they talk about how Aya taught them, you know, the importance of love, and how when you find something special, don't let it go. Aya also follows with a speech of her own, basically repeating what the two women said and expressing how happy she is that they are friends. Touches on what they said about, you know, when you find somebody or find something special, if things go wrong, give it a second chance. And obviously this is going to speak to Prashen and Jody, who are in the audience. They give each other a glance of knowing. The speeches are done. Now they open the dance floor for everyone to go dance.
Can't get enough of this touching. Keep getting lost in the moment. I get a rush when we loving. We can't get enough of this touching. Keep getting lost in the moment. I get a rush when we loving. We can't get enough feeling. Forget about your feelings.
Jennifer and Shanti now talking about how they look good together, talking about how her and Jennifer did good by bringing them back together, talking about how if they actually even eventually did share a grandchild, what if one has the good qualities of this one or the good qualities of the other one. They put on Aya's favorite song, and there's like a dance crew. Obviously Prashen and Jody are the main act, so like everyone else is dancing around them, everyone else is doing the same thing except for them. They kind of like have the space to freestyle, be cute about it. Then the whole party joins.
But we made it our home. The houses are so close, I must lie, we can smell what our neighbor is cooking. But eventually, we all become like one family. That's Chatsworth for you.
And that's the end of the movie. Like last week, I actually really enjoyed this movie. The only thing that made me uncomfortable was the fat shaming. It would drag on. It wouldn't just be like one comment. It would go on and on and on. Also, Jennifer and Shanti, they really pissed me off in this movie. They touched on a very touchy subject for me. Parents. At this point, Jody and Prashen, they're in university, yeah. I think Prashen was in third year. And like, okay, he's not living in his own house and he doesn't have his own stable income, but he is a human being who can have his own thoughts. Often parents think their children are an extension of themselves instead of their own human beings, and it creates a lot of conflict. Parents and their hunger for control, and that sometimes, like not even sometimes, but just let the kids be their own people. Stop trying to enforce your beliefs on other people. That's a whole other topic for another day. Was it easier to shoot this? I don't know. I think I looked at the monitor screen more than I did in the previous video, but I tried my best. I think I'm going to release a video every second Friday. I still need to edit, put the film clips in, it's a lot. So my next video is going to drop on the 11th of February. That is when my next video is going to come out. And also I need to figure out how I'm gonna incorporate episodes of like series into this. If you have any suggestions of how I can do that, please let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, thank you so much for coming to this movie night with Kat. I will be seeing you on the 11th of February. Goodbye.
Struggle to get to my G's. Homies, can you help me? Nah, fuck it. I'm gonna work. Give me a mop in the bucket. Give him my dick and stay sucking.